chat.
Totally was just like, hope we chat soon. And she's like, drop that. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. But it is all about like that language too. Like in order to sell, you have to be confident.
Welcome to Duo on Air, where we help you get seen, remembered, and wildly obsessed over by your audience. We're your hosts, Abby
and Courtney, a pair of ex-agency besties who ditched the cubicles, the Minneapolis skyways, and the corporate jargon for work that matters with people who inspire us every day. Today, we're a women-powered marketing agency serving brands worldwide, bringing those big agency results without the corporate price tag.
Around here, it's all about what actually grows your business. Branding, SEO, websites, and navigating the real-life ups and downs of building a dream while raising tiny humans. We're moms, wives, and best friend business partners in the trenches with you, making the hard stuff feel easy and a whole lot more fun.
So pour a fresh cup, get comfy, because you're exactly where you need to be.
Let's duo this.
Welcome back to the Duo on Air podcast. This is episode number 206. And have you ever wondered if your inquiry workflow is clunky, fun, personalized enough? Same. Until recently, actually. Today we're going to be talking about what has worked for us and how after years of doing a lot of this manually, like cave women, we finally have a system in place that we absolutely love. And if you go all the way back to episode number 46, we talk about 11 things to automate in your business, and this is one of them. So we're kind of just excited to talk about our inquiry workflow, you know, when somebody lands on our website and just all of the things that happen after that until they book a call and work with us, and everything is glorious.
Yes. So I would say this applies to any contact form fill out. Like even if you're a product business and you have people that reach out to you and contact you, you should have some type of workflow in place. So you might modify it depending on what you talk to them about. But I think this can kind of apply to, say you accept brand partnerships or speaking engagements or like whatever that inquiry is. It doesn't necessarily have to be a service-based business just like us, but whatever people are inquiring about, there can be a really good process in place that saves you time and also still is on brand for your business.
Yeah. So we're just going to kind of take you through the general process of if like someone inquired on our website, because sometimes if they inquire somewhere else, like let's say, you know, they find us on Instagram or they just like happen to send us an email or something like that. If they come in from somewhere else that isn't that contact form for whatever reason, we skip some of this stuff that we're about to talk about. And we usually just send them our investment guide along with our scheduling link. And then we meet with them. And then that process is the same as we talk you through this.
Too, like we try really hard to get people to fill out the contact form. I know it can be annoying, but also that's an opportunity where we get the link to your website. We hear about what you're struggling with right now. Like we get some information from you, and sometimes going into these calls blind, which we'll talk about, like why we don't like to go into these calls blind and how it makes a difference in building that relationship. So like I have a message to send out right now to someone who inquired on Instagram. And it's funny because it's like, we should probably be stricter about pushing people to
our contact form. Yeah. We're kind of loosey-goosey.
Yeah, we are. And it's sometimes hard to find that line of like, let's follow a process that we know works versus we just want to make it easier for you because
I think we're just like, we're people pleasers and it does essentially take out a step for them, but it adds a little bit more for us and it doesn't follow.
Well, and I think it does impact the way they first engage with us too.
Yeah.
Truly. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to like navigate that, but I think it is something where like as business owners, like just being real with you guys, like we struggle with this sometimes too because we want to like just make it easy on the other end.
Right.
But we also know there's processes in place to make it the best possible experience.
Yes.
And so we should hold ourselves accountable to funneling everyone to the contact form.
Yes,
we really should. I think it's just like that fear as a service owner of being like,
if you do
we
that,
might
like,
lose
what
the
if you
lead.
lose them? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, I don't know, was it like meant to be then that we weren't supposed to work together? You know, if you believe in that woo-woo shit.
Right. Which Courtney does.
I do, because I'm a witch. Just kidding. I'm not a witch, you guys. Okay, so the very first thing when people come through our website and on our contact form, someone inquires on our website, what happens? Not even what happens. Actually, when they land on that contact page, we have a personalized inquiry form. And we've actually even talked about making this even a little bit more in depth, because sometimes we don't get all the information that we wish we did, but we try our hardest. So we ask for things like, their name, their business handle on Instagram, and their website link, what it is that they're looking for services from us. So they have a plethora of options that they can check, and they can check more than one, obviously, because we offer more than just one service. And then ask them kind of like what it is within those services that they're like, what's their pain point? What's the problem that we can help them solve? And we ask them how they found us, whether Instagram, referral, podcast, other, things like that. And then making it a little bit fun by adding some personality, like tell us about your furry or non-furry sidekicks, because this is part of our brand, right? And if you just listened to 2 episodes ago, I believe it was episode 204, where we just talked about like being professional, but also being playful in your brand. And we are a little bit more of a playful brand. So this is where you can have a bit of that playfulness sprinkled in. And this is one of our like favorite things to read when people actually fill it out. Some people skip it. Some people who don't have pets. We just recently had one where she was just like, my husband is allergic to everything that is furry, but we have 3 kids, so it's just like funny to see things like that. And then some people, like, their pets are their lives, so they give us the whole story on their pet. So then when we jump on that inquiry call later with them, if they book it, that's something that we can talk about too. So it's just adding a little bit of fun, not like just strictly business within that inquiry form.
Yeah, so those are fun. And this form, so sometimes if you're using your native website form, like if you're using whatever Showit, Wix, Squarespace allows, you don't have a ton of flexibility in how these questions are formatted. If you are pulling in a CRM, so we use Dubsado, and that allows us to actually embed a custom form that gives us a little bit more flexibility in the questions we ask and how those questions are answered. So just today, we actually, right before we were recording podcast, Court was like, how many like projects do we have from podcasts? Like,
I was just curious. Because I was ready to quit. Just kidding.
She was like, done. So it was nice because I was just able to go into Dubsado, into our CRM, and sort by project source and sort by podcast. And then it shows you not only the number of projects you have, but the revenue associated with it. And it gives you that insight into the actual like people who've booked projects and where they've came from. I can't, like, it's not, sometimes people aren't 100% honest. Like sometimes I'll see people be like, found you on Google, and then in the other section they'll be like, oh, I found you on so and so's website, and I'm like, oh, well, that's referral, not Google,
right?
But whatever.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's funny. You've never told me that you've like caught that. That's
oh yeah,
funny.
I look at that all the time because I'm always like, I want to know where they found us, but then they sometimes give us some more insight into where they found us, which is really nice to know just from like, we're marketers, so we like to know the background of that. And so you can do deeper analytics, which is what we obviously do for our clients and for ourselves with like Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager, to actually be able to see people filling out the forms and where they came from. But this is really nice if you don't have like that deeper analytics set up yet. You can still see it through your CRM, whatever you use. So we use Dubsado, but you can use a whole plethora of whatever makes sense for your business.
So if you go back to episode 108, we do have an episode strictly on Dubsado and if it's the right tool for you. So if you want to learn more about Dubsado, or you are looking for a CRM or want to switch your CRM, that episode dives all into Dubsado, and we've loved it. It's been a great tool for us.
And we're actually talking with one of the founders of Dubsado on that episode. So she's talking all about the tool and all of the amazing things it does. So
yes, it is a great, powerful tool.
It is. So basically, process wise, someone fills out that form. It's embedded from Dubsado on our contact form. They fill it out, and then our email workflow is what kicks in next. So there are 3 emails they get, but they actually get 4 now that I think about it. So
if they don't book, right?
No, they get, so the very first email they get is a "we got you" email.
Yep.
So it's like hey, we got you. We'll send you over our information. And the reason why we did this is because we added a step for our project manager to actually approve the workflow before it starts.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
Because
you get spam.
yes, we
You
get
get
a
spam.
lot of crap.
Yep.
So especially in the SEO world,
Oh,
we
there are
get
so many
yeah.
people that just like come in and they're like, "Do you need SEO help? I can do this for you." Blah blah blah.
so
And you're like,
many.
"This is so disgusting."
Yeah.
And we wouldn't want those approved because we
No.
don't want them
Or
on our
it's
calendars.
yeah, or it's backlinks, or it's like, can you feature this article? Can you feature blah blah blah? So everyone gets those, and the very first email that people get is a link to chat with us in our investment guide. And we're not giving that link to anyone.
No.
Like that link is only to people who are real real
Solid
leads.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the very first email. So if you're concerned, like, I don't want to do this because I need to be able to verify. Well, there is a step to verify. So there's a box we have to check that says like approve the workflow. Then the rest of it happens. So we do that really fast.
Yes.
I would say.
Yes.
So sometimes it's like a 5-minute delay, and other times it might be a few hours.
Yes.
But it is pretty dang fast. So yeah, that's the first email. And then the first real email they get is, like I said, the investment guide, a link to our scheduler, like a little bit about us. We actually say at the very beginning, like, this email might look a little bit too perfect. And yes, it's automated, but it's just because we're so excited to get this stuff in your hands. And we've read your inquiry already because we've approved it. So we already know that we're excited.
Yes.
We just want to make sure that we get you what you need ASAP.
Right.
Because
we promise we're not fake. And like, people kind of expect stuff like that. If you don't catch people right away, gosh, isn't there like some saying or some, I can't even think of what it is, but it's basically like you have to catch them right away because otherwise they're going to move on to somebody else. Or people's calendars, like all of our calendars are just so busy. Like if they don't catch me right away and I can't book it right away, your email is going to fall to the bottom of all the other emails I have.
Yeah. And there have been times where like we are just busy and we don't have time to draft an email, or like we know we're going to be away from our computer, but Dubsado has an app so we can quickly approve the workflow in the app without having to like sit down at our computer and write an email, because we're millennials, and if I'm writing an email like that, like it is a big screen task. It is not a phone task for me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I think that's something that has really changed things. And then we do like to do a personal follow-up. Like, even like the workflow is going to continue, so there's going to be additional emails, but we do want to make that personal connection right away. And I can tell you that I think the times we make a personal connection are we have a stronger conversion rate. Yeah.
And this is, to be honest with everybody listening, this is where we really struggled with the automated process, because prior to this, we were burning ourselves by doing this, burning ourselves as like we were kind of getting burnt out with it. It was things that we shouldn't or don't need to focus on doing in our business, but we would reply manually. Like every single inquiry, it would be us replying. And that just gets to be so much. It takes away, it like breaks up workflows and processes throughout your day. It takes away from the other things that you should be focusing on your business, because if it can be automated, it probably should be automated. But we really struggled with that because, again, we're people pleasers. We're very bubbly. We like to be best friends with everybody. And so just thinking of having something automated being sent out to people right away, we were just like, ooh. But that's why we're upfront about it too, even in our automations. Like, you can be clear in your automation, like, yep, this is automated, but I wanted to make sure you got what you needed. Yeah. And I'll be in touch soon personally, which is why we do that.
We'll make that personal connection. So yeah, that first email comes through, they get the links, everything that they asked for, everything that they wanted. The next email is like friendly follow-up. And then the final email is just like, hey, this is it. This is like, we know that things get buried and things get missed. And so we're just going to follow up one more time. So it's the first email that goes out like really quickly. Honestly, I don't even think that one waits 24 hours. Unless for some reason it got buried in something, but that rarely ever happens. The next one's 2 days, and then the last one's 5 days from initial
inquiry.
Yeah. Yep. So that's kind of like they get through the whole system in less than a week. And really, if like they're interested, then they're going to book a call.
Right.
And if not, then we're not going to keep bombarding you. We're not going to keep sending you emails. Like, that's it. So
Yes,
we
exactly.
get it. And this is a lot of times where I think the personal connection can make such a big difference, because sometimes people open your investment guide and they're like, oh, it's more than I thought. Like the cost is too high or something. But that's an opportunity too, where it's like, okay, it might look high, but here's everything that's included. Here's what you're going to get for it. Here's like, that's the moment where we need that call to actually like talk through it.
Right.
And there are plenty of times where we'll send it out and they'll say that, and then we'll remind them like, we have payment plans.
We're very flexible.
Or we can build custom proposals or X, Y, and Z. So I think it's just like a moment for us to make that personal connection, because there might be a boundary before they even book a call and a reason why they're not booking it.
Yep.
Or maybe they couldn't find a time in our calendar. Like, hey, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll open up some time, or we'll meet on a day that we don't typically meet. Like, we're very flexible. Yes. So that's just kind of the whole process for when they first initial inquire. So let's say they book a call. What happens next? So typically, if they book a call, not typically, we always do this. We do a little research on our end to learn more about their business and their brand before meeting them. So they'll, sometimes they'll be very specific in the inquiry form. Sometimes they'll be very vague. Regardless of if they're specific or vague, we always go to their website and do some research, learn a little bit about them. What is it that they're offering? What is like some pain points that we can help them with? Because we don't want to go into that meeting blind and not knowing what it is that they do or they're looking for. And also it just shows that you are a human and you're truly invested in that person who's inquiring, because they are making a big investment within their business, most likely, and they want to feel trusted and like they're working with somebody who can actually get them where they need to be.
Yeah. And even like for every single SEO client. So I talk about this a lot with my SEO membership crew, the people who are actually offering SEO services too, about like before a call, I am always putting their website into SEMrush. Like
it's so funny. Anytime we're on an SEO inquiry call, she's just like, yeah, so it looks like da, 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 da. And then she'll like spew off all these SEO things. And then a lot of people are just like, wait, how do you know that? How do you see that?
And I'm like, that's the magic of what you get when you work with someone who has an SEO tool.
Yeah, it's so
funny. It is really fun to just be like, yeah, I can see that you have traffic, or I can see that you don't have traffic, or I can see that all of your traffic is branded, or I can see that right now, like you're only getting traffic from one page of your website and nothing else is working. Like it's just fun to be able to like, well, fun for me. Fun. Sometimes it's not fun for them when they're like, wait, I'm not getting any traffic. And I'm like, just from Google.
You just like break their business hearts.
I know. Most people really appreciate it though. And it
do.
Helps build the trust of like,
absolutely.
I can quickly look at your website and see X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And now like we're actually talking strategy of how we can help grow that. Like once you work on enough websites, you get a good idea of what you're seeing there and then what's going to help them grow. So you can take not only the problems that they're giving you, but then you can flip it and talk about the solutions that you can help them solve.
Absolutely. It's like that proof. Yeah. And we always say too, when you're doing that research phase, after they book the call, but before you meet with them, like obviously you want to know what their business is, their offerings, their services, what their pain points are, but also trying to make a connection with them right away to make it more personal and show that you did some of that research and that you care about them plus their business, right? So a lot of people have something about them on their website. So do they also have a large dog like Abby and I do? If they do, we're going to talk about it. Are they also obsessed with coffee just like us? Bring it up. So those things make you human. They recognize that. They recognize that you care more about them than just their business. It really does just personalize it and show that you did your research. And people get excited. People want to talk about those things too. They're like, heck yes, I want to talk about my large dog. Let's geek out about it. So
yeah. And you get a feel on the call if they want a small chat, a small talk,
absolutely.
or if they don't.
You gotta feel pretty quickly. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, you don't want to talk.
You definitely have to read the audience too. Like there are some people who are like, I'm just here to talk about business and then let's move on, which
we can do that too.
Like we can do that. But there are other people where I'm like, oh, this call could last an hour.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure we have had calls like go very far over because we're just like talking about life.
Yeah, right. Which is fun. Like, I don't know.
It is.
This is the chance to get off your computer and actually talk with people out in the real world.
Exactly.
And I would say like from that standpoint too, I think if you view every single inquiry call as like a pass or fail kind of thing of like we booked the client or we didn't book the client,
Mm-hmm.
then that can get like a little I don't know, just like it can just feel a lot of pressure
It can feel
of
defeating too. Like if
yeah.
for some reason you're having a slow season
Yeah.
and it's not even like necessarily your fault, it's just like your slow
It's just the
season,
pressure
right?
of it.
Yeah.
But what if you positioned it as like, this is your chance to do some customer research? Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
your chance to talk with people out there, learn the problems they're having. Even if you don't book that client, that conversation that you're having is still really valuable because you're learning about their industry and what they're struggling with. And
Mm-hmm.
they're not the only ones struggling with it.
Right. Right.
So it's like an opportunity for just more like research, I guess,
Yeah.
in your audience. And so if you take that approach of like, I want to learn what's happening for you, that can kind of shift your perspective, especially if selling is something that stresses you out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
It's funny when you say that because I feel like Abby's a better seller than I am. I'm again just like
just have more practice.
It's probably because of the agency days,
It
right?
is.
Like Abby had to sell, and I had to create like based on the sale. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you got the sale. Now I got to create this
I
for
had to
it.
pitch and Court got to design.
Yeah. So
Which
I feel like
you designed 4 pitches.
yes,
But not as much of the like
not as much as the day-to-day
selling.
selling. And it's not even that they were small things. Like pitches were really large typically, but yeah, like the day-to-day business for our clients, I didn't have to do.
But I think that's also the benefit of like that's where the partnership comes in. Like and also so if you're in a partnership business, it's okay that one person is better at selling.
Mm-hmm.
Like
literally
lean into it.
Literally
use
the
it.
other day, Abby, I like asked her about something with an inquiry and she was just like, okay, send this. And I think it said at the end, like, can't wait to chat or something or chat soon. And that was just like, and I changed it to, I hope we can chat soon or something along the lines of like, it wasn't quite as like, we're gonna chat soon. It was more like, well, if you want to chat, we can chat. But if you don't, I get it. And Abby's like, no, change that.
It's
and
like,
I was like, I
here,
can't.
you change it. And this is what you say. You say, here's the link to book a call. Can't wait to chat with you soon.
Yeah.
And like, it's clear you're going to chat.
I totally was just like, hope we chat soon. And she's like, drop that. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
It is hard. It's hard.
But it is all about like that language too. Like in order to sell, you have to be confident. And thank God for Abby because
you have to like.
We would have shut down years ago if it were me.
It is something. It's like it gets easier. The more and more you do it, it gets easier.
Yeah.
And it's like less about because there are sales tactics that feel pushy and cringy and like you can tell they're uncomfortable, and it's not like we're gonna force something on them like that, which I would say we don't have situations where I'm like, oh yeah, we can tell they're uncomfortable, this happens all the time. Like no, they're never uncomfortable,
right.
But also like you know how to read a room of like, okay, they're not ready yet. It's going to stress them out. Like, let's just take it a little bit slower and walk them through.
Right.
So there's some people where they'll join a call and say like they just needed a brand and that's what they were inquiring for. But we know they also need the full website too.
So happens a lot.
Yeah. That's where you read the room because some people aren't quite ready for it and some people are. And so you don't want to push something too hard on someone where now they don't do the brand because it's too far ahead.
Right.
Like they can't think that far ahead. Or you just learn like, okay, they have a smaller budget right now, so we need to start with something smaller.
Right.
So like we've had clients where we actually have 2 packages for this reason. So like people come in for the brand and then they already have a website. They really do want a new website, but they just can't afford it. All they can do right now is a brand.
Yes.
A-okay. So we created like a website cocktail hour where 4 hours of our web designer's time to apply your brand to your existing website.
We don't change content. We don't add things. All we do is update everything that you have on your website with your new colors, fonts, logos, submarks, patterns. And that's what it is.
And you can tell in an inquiry call if that's going to be what they need. Like you can tell right away. Or you can tell that they just need to invest in the brand and then we'll talk about the website later, which is A-okay, totally fine. But you can also tell when someone's like, I want to do all of it right now. And that's when you can walk them through like, we make big websites that rank on SEO that have lots more pages than what you typically see. Like, we walk them through everything from beginning to end and it resonates.
Mm-hmm.
So you also have to determine, like, what am I going to talk to them about? And this comes a little bit back to, like, take a peek at all of your last leads and inquiry calls and see if your packages that you have are resonating with what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
just take a step back and think, like, okay, I'm not saying to, like, sell yourself short and, like, cut projects in half. Like, don't do that. And that's why the website Cocktail Hour is like, we don't do content, we don't do SEO.
Mm-hmm.
We're just helping you fill this gap for a small period of time. We're not telling you that this application process is going to, like, automatically make more traffic come to your website, because it's not, because we're not doing SEO.
Correct.
But we're helping fill a gap
Yes.
that you need right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to help with that. So I think it's good to have packages that, like, help fill voids and needs.
Yeah.
But obviously don't, like, sell yourself short or just cut a package in half just to meet someone at the price point.
Or don't, I would say, like, be cautious about getting package crazy, like having like too many options, because if you come to me with too many options, I'm going to feel overwhelmed and walk away not wanting any of them, because because I think I would get confused. Like, I guess I don't know what I need.
Which is where you have to decide. That's your job, like, as the salesperson on the call.
Yeah.
Your job on the call is to
determine that.
Only talk about the packages you think they need.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, there are calls where I leave thinking, gosh, we talked about too much. Like, we talked about too many options. And they ask the questions that, like, opened up the door to all of these additional things.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'll leave a call and I'll think in my head, like, man, that was, I think, too confusing. Like, I think that.
Oh, do you?
There's like calls that I've left where I've been like, I think we talked about too much. I think it's going to overwhelm them.
I think sometimes
it can be hard.
It depends on what you're talking about too.
Yes.
Because SEO can be so much more, I don't want to say complicated, because I don't want to scare people with SEO, but there's so many more layers to SEO than there is branding, and layers that people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, branding is a simple concept to understand.
Yeah.
SEO is not necessarily simple or easy for people to understand.
And I think it's like,
it's a little bit more technical.
Yeah. That's something that I've also had to, like, learn on these calls too, because I love to educate, but not everyone wants to learn.
Yeah. Some people are like, I just want you to do it for me. Just
and that's
make it work.
Yeah. So I think I've forced education down some people's throats, because I personally, like, I feel like it's just such an important thing for you to know and understand. And so I've probably pushed it in spots where people have been like, I feel like have capacity to
I feel like
it.
Again, you start to read the room, and like, you try to read the room quicker than like sooner than later, right? And I think a lot of the times, like lately, I feel like anyways, we lead with like, we like to educate, and then that person is either like, oh, that's great, like, yes, I want to learn, or they're like, oh, no, like, you just do it for me.
Like,
I don't
I'm wearing too many hats.
Yes.
So I need to hire you to take
so
this
then
off
that
my plate.
steers your conversation to a different package potentially.
For sure. But I think, like, the reality of, like, this whole conversation we're having right now is, like, you're always learning. You learn on every single inquiry call you have.
You really do.
Like, you learn how to sell. You learn how to listen. You learn how to adapt your packages. Like, the whole, like, every call you have is a learning situation.
And none of them are the same. They're all different.
Yeah,
they're all
and
different.
They should be. Like,
the other day, we had a branding inquiry call, and I like did my research on their site. I pulled up examples that I thought would be relevant for her to look at, and I pulled up stuff that like kind of looked similar to the brand that she had already had. She didn't dislike her brand, but she knew her brand needed more. And when we started talking a little bit, she was just, and I was showing her some examples. She's like, yeah, these are great. And she's like, how about some of your, like, and she's followed us. She's like, how about some of like the more popular, like brighter ones? And I was like, oh. I was like, yes, I would love to show you some of those. And so I pulled those up. So I went into that meeting thinking that I had the right examples ready to go. And she wanted to see other examples because, again, we don't really have a niche. We've worked on so many different brand projects, from like super sophisticated, modern, clean to like bright, poppy, bubbly, anything, everything in between. We don't have a niche when it comes to branding or SEO. Like, we don't have a niche. Yeah. So it was just like, I was like, man, I thought I came prepared and I didn't quite come prepared, which is fine. You can wing it on the call. You pivot on the call. But so just again, you learn
Yeah.
on every single call.
Yeah. And there are things that like we've done that make it easy for us to pivot like that. Like all of our brand projects are like we can easily search for them on Drive or they're in a portfolio folder.
You have to make it easy for you because you only we only do 30 minutes. So you only have 30 minutes to basically pitch.
You don't want to you don't want to waste time looking for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, so to back it up, let's just back up the process of like actual meeting day. So the meeting day where we actually sit down with the potential client, they join our Zoom page.
Which is so cute.
We love it. We made a little page on our website that joins our personal room, my personal room. So if I ever don't join a call, Court has to join as Abby.
And then I come on as Abby. Literally the other day I had to tell somebody, I'm like, I'm not Abby. And she's like, okay, good. I thought I knew each of you were, but it's like, yes, you do.
Yeah, right. But if Court has to log in, then she just has to go in through me, which is fun.
Yep.
I should just change the name so that it's just Court and Apps. Always.
Oh, you could do that. I thought maybe you were going to combine our names like Abney.
Oh,
or
keep going. Keep Courtby.
Courtby. Abney Courtby. Well, stay tuned. We'll come back to some more.
And they will be worse probably.
Yes.
So if you go back and listen to episode number 102, this was like a favorite episode of a lot of people. So it's worth a scroll back.
It's such a fun one.
It's really almost more than 100 episodes ago.
Yeah.
But it's 5 website pages you didn't know you needed. Some for SEO and some for fun like this.
Yeah.
So like this Zoom page is just a moment where people like they click the link to join from this page rather than having to like just have the boring old Zoom link in your calendar invite.
I feel like it's a better experience. It allows us to show off our brand a little bit, have some fun personality. And I mean, a lot of people have said too, they're like, wow, you have your own Zoom page? Like, I want my own Zoom page. This is so fun.
I also can't tell you how helpful it is. Like I was just talking to a client / friend of mine the other day and I was like, trying to talk to her on the phone about something. And I was like, can you just share your screen with me? Just go to like /Zoom, please. Like, I just need to talk to you. And so it was just so easy. Like I didn't have to create a meeting. I didn't have to tell her to go anywhere. It was just like, go to this page, click the link and let's go.
Yep.
So that was really nice. So we love this page. So anyways, that's how they join. It's kind of like a fun little connection before we actually personally connect. And then we hop on the call. So usually the very first thing that I will say when we join a call is, all right, like we read through your inquiry. We're so excited. Like tell us a little bit more. We just love to hear it in your own words. Like they should talk first
about their business and what they need. Yes.
So we talk second. So we really encourage them to share and elaborate on if we have a specific question to kick it off because they were very specific in their inquiry, then that's great. We can like ask a specific question. I don't want it to sound like we didn't read it because we did, but at the same time, it's like, I want you to talk first. I want to
listen first
from your own mouth, like what you're struggling with right now. So we'll kind of start with that. And sometimes it's like, okay, I know all of your SEO problems, but then I'll maybe lead with a question of like, can you tell me what your history has been with SEO? Like who have you worked with in the past or what do you know about it if you do know anything? And it's okay if you don't. Like just kind of just start the conversation with asking them a question. So that always starts and that helps us funnel into, okay, here's what we can offer you and here's why this solves your problem.
Yes.
So that's kind of where we talk through our investment guide, but we are specifically talking about a package that resonates with the problem that they're trying to solve. And then I would say those are kind of like naturally gears or like sends the conversation in whatever direction it's going to go in. So branding, we share a lot of examples.
Yes.
Like
we pull up websites that we've done. We pull up brand style guides, brand boards, whatever it might be. And
it's a lot easier. Like rather than be like, okay, do you see this package on our investment guide? Here's what's included.
Yeah, because if you just sit there and list off all the things, which you kind of have to do to a point to like let them know what's included in the package, but you don't have to go bullet for bullet. You don't have to say everything that's included. Like the investment guide's right there for them to read too. You have to sell it from a perspective of showing examples of like, here was the before, here's the after. See how we transformed this brand. They wanted to go from this to this. Like you have to sell it in kind of like a storytelling way versus you get a logo and a mood board and
You get
colors
X
and
number of icons.
like they want to see this,
Yeah.
right? And they want to see like what you can do.
Mhm.
You have to show that you are credible
Yeah.
and that you can do this.
Yeah. And the variety too. And I
Yes.
think like it depends on like branding's very visual. Like
It is.
you do have to see examples.
Some
to bring
people
it
might
to
love
life.
it. Some people might hate it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we walk through examples. And then we always walk through, okay, now what happens if we are to work together? So,
and I would say we typically do this almost every call, even if we might not think we got the sale.
Yeah.
I would say, because we want them to know, like if we do get the sale, even if we leave and we're like, I don't know, that I don't really know if they're going to sign, we still want them to know what happens next, because it's a system and there's a lot of moving pieces. So just showing or like telling them like, this is our process also shows them that like, we've got it figured out. Like we have a really solid process.
Have a process.
Yeah, that we're proud of and that works really well.
Yeah. So we always let them know, you're going to get a proposal. You choose what you want. The proposal goes to the contract and then the retainer. And we can always change the retainer, like figure out a payment plan that works for you. And then after that, you'll get introduced to the team. So anyone else on our team who you will be working with, you'll be introduced in an email. We do a detailed timeline, and Heidi, our project manager, will send that over to you. And that details the project out from beginning to end. And from there, you'll get a questionnaire. And then we talk about maybe a little bit about the process of like whatever project it is. So Court might talk about how then you fill out the Pinterest mood board, and then we talk about it together, and then we meet for mood boards, and here's what a mood board is and whatever. And I might talk about from an SEO perspective, like the very first thing you're going to see is keywords, and here's what we're doing in between the questionnaire and the keyword research and whatever.
It gets people excited, especially if they are like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to sign with these gals. It gets them excited to see, like, it just gives them a brief overview of like, this is what's going to happen. Like, pay attention to this. And it's really exciting. Like you get to meet more of the team, and you get to create a Pinterest board and fill out this brand questionnaire and really tell us all about your brand and your business. So it's just nice to know going forward what they can expect if they do sign.
Yeah. It also builds trust because they're paying a retainer first. They're putting money down before you've done anything.
Yes.
And I think you also have to articulate that, like, we know, like, one of the first emails they get is like, we understand that making an investment like this is a really big deal, and we do not take that for granted.
No.
Like that's in one of our first emails, like right after they book, because we truly believe that. And so I think being able to actually walk through, like, we have a process and we have a system, and it's not like you're going to pay a retainer and you're not going to hear from us.
Yeah.
Like that would never happen.
So yeah, I mean, that was a little bit of after the call too. So really just to kind of highlight all of the steps that we have is that someone inquires on our website through our personalized inquiry form. That email sequence kicks in from Dubsado. And then again, we typically send some sort of a personalized email within that those automated emails. If they book a call, what happens next, and then kind of what we do with the meeting day. And after that, if they book, then all of that stuff that we talked about, it pushes to the contract retainer. You get the emails, the onboarding, all of the stuff. Yeah,
I will say too, there's like, when you think through workflows, it can feel complicated, but once it's set up and once you like take that day or whatever it is that your brain needs to like set aside time to actually set this up, it's good to go.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to think about it
so
anymore.
Solid. Maybe you have to make tiny adjustments here or there, but like once you have the bulk of it set, you're good to go. And we can say from experience that it has been a game changer for us as far as just like systems and workflows and automations go, because it's something that we needed to put in place. And it's something that you can still personalize and make fun. Like ours are actually really fun. We could maybe even put like
a few
examples of what they look like.
For sure.
But you can still make them fun. They don't have to be stale just because they're automated.
Yeah. We'll put some screenshots in the show notes. But I think another fear that people often have is that your workflows are going to overlap. And so I think that's where like having a CRM tool that can actually help you is really beneficial, because you can make sure they don't. So if someone books a call after that very first email, that workflow is stopped.
Yep.
Like that call triggers the stopping of that workflow. And it actually starts a new one because if someone books a call, we have reminder emails that come to them one day before the call with a reschedule link if they need it. And then we have 1 hour before the call. And we do that because we do not like it when people ghost us.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah, it happens more often than you
Yes.
think,
And
too.
it can be frustrating. And also, I think it's like a moment, like I understand calendars get mixed up, time zones, whatever. Things can happen. So 2 is what we feel good about. But there are plenty of times where we still like, sometimes people still
jump
ghost
on a
us.
call and they ghost us, or we have to ping them and they're like, oh shoot, I forgot.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, maybe that's a red flag. I don't know.
Right.
But it is, and it's also really nice to be able to be like, okay, you have the link to reschedule, because that's another thing that takes time is people email you and they say, hey, I have to reschedule this call. And now you have to go play with your calendar.
Yes.
Where you could just send them the link to reschedule themselves and you don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So
this is where, Dubsado, the CRM system that we're in is so key to this whole process, because it does allow us to have all of that set in place for, the triggers or what's happening.
It has access to our calendar, so it blocks off certain times. And it is something that's beyond helpful. So like we just had someone today reschedule a call for next week. Yeah. And we didn't have to do anything. Yeah. So that kind of stuff is just like, it just saves so much time, and time that you don't realize was taking things away from you until it's not there anymore. And you're like, great, perfect.
And not even just like taking hours away from your business, but it's kind of mentally taxing too.
Yeah. Like, oh crap, I have to do that. And you're at the grocery store or whatever. Yes. Like, it's just something that you don't have to think about anymore or worry about getting lost in your inbox. So, so yeah, we will share all of the details of these workflows, how we are not, I will caveat this, we are not systems experts. So we do not set up workflows. No. Please do not come to us and say, can you set up my Dubsado workflow?
We just like to cheerlead them on because they are magical.
They are magical. And we love helping other service providers and other people who have want to streamline their workflows in their systems. So this is not a sales pitch for us to do your Dubsado workflows.
No.
Love Dubsado. There are amazing humans out there that do that. So please work with them.
We are not those humans.
We are not. Do not inquire about that. But we hope that if this is something you guys really do want to include, then hopefully you can take some nuggets away about how to structure your workflows. And again, we'll put some of those fun little emails in the show notes so that you can steal those for inspiration. But obviously make them your own, with your own brand voice.
Yes,
your own personality, your own gifts.
Yes.
I worked really hard on the confetti gifts.
They're amazing. You did great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the workflow in action, feel free to inquire. Just inquire and say testing from podcast.
Yeah, from podcast episode.
And we'll ignore you.
206. Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
I'm just kidding. We won't ignore you, but you'll get the workflow. We just won't follow up with you personally.
Right. But then if you do want to work with us, hey,
book a call. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
It's time for a refill. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Duo on Air.
If you loved hanging out with us today, here are 3 quick ways to support the show. 1, subscribe so you never miss a new episode.
2, share this episode with a biz bestie and tag us on Instagram at duo.collective.
And 3, leave a review because we love hearing from you.
Finally, keep sharing your episode ideas. We love creating content for you. Head over to duocollective.com to catch up on all the latest episodes, brand and website makeovers, SEO tips, and so much more.
See you there. Let's duo this thing called business together.